I had a dream last night, not so pleasant. I don't usually dream a lot, very rare, but this is like a dream that I was confused given a certain situation and I couldn't get out of it. So in the morning, I sit still and thought about why that dream came about. Usually I can find out. So I did that study of where. And then the one thing I thought could be the case is that last night before I went to bed, I was reading a story of Ryokan that I put in my own homepage a long time ago. I don't know why I was watching, but I thought it could be interesting to revisit what I wrote years ago to see how I may find it different. So anyway, the story Ryokan. Ryokan is the Zen monk who lived perhaps 150 years ago and very much liked by many, very famous monk. And I must have put some stories of Ryokan in my YouTube if anybody's interested. But he is the guy who, the Zen monk, and went through all the training, and he had the awakening, Satori, but lived in his life as like a loner, away from the society, in the little hut, and he enjoys being alone and with nature. And I can see that many philosophers, scientists, Zen monk, spiritual pursuit, people who are into it, any strong desire they may have, they have their own space. And that I can understand. I'm kind of like that I'm living alone and without much disturbance of the society, except I watched on the website lots of stories so that I could connect to the world and what I can do with it. But anyway, he was that kind of character and very well known in Japan. And the story that I remember that I shared elsewhere is that he likes kids. But one funny story is that he likes the nature, and therefore he was living in this little hut in nature, and the bamboo was growing. And what happened is that the bamboo grows from the root, in a basement, and to his little house, and then growing bigger. And he opened up the top of the roof so that the bamboo can grow more. So he doesn't want to kill the bamboo. In doing so, he used the fire, maybe a candle or something, to burn off some of the roof area, and that turned out to be too much, and the hut he lived in got fire and perished. So it's a stupid story, you can say. And also another story, just short story, but is that he played hide and seek. He played with kids very much, and he was hiding somewhere, and the kids went home. And next morning he was still hiding and found by the neighbor. What are you doing? And he said he's still hiding. Anyway, simple-minded person, liked the nature and childlikeness, warm-hearted. Many people know his name and appreciate. So I read Ryokan's story and didn't think much about it, but you smile and went to bed. And I think that must have been the cause of it, because why? The trouble. The trouble comes when you interface with the society from the secluded living and get lost. And that's why they tend to live, those monks tend to live more quietly in the mountain, away from the society. But in my case, I'm a minimalist and I live in this place quietly, but I interact with people, also watching the YouTube and the website that I follow the news, so that I have something that possibly I can help contribute, also knowing what the world is. So that is something that I do. But that also is the case of how much of the boundary that I can go across from the quiet to the society and find a way to balance out. So using this analogy of, not using the brain only, but connected to the heart, and I mentioned about the tree of life. The source of where we are is the energy that comes from the ground, let's say, from the root. That's the core of what it is. And then we spread out the branches, and the branches go different direction. And the point of that is to find the best resources so there's not much wind, but sun is there, and you can sustain the growth as living being. So given the environment, how to grow. So that's the name, so to speak. And that's what tree does, and that's what we do, and that's what people like Warren Buffett talking about this idea about Circle of Competence. So you do what you're good at and avoid doing something you don't know about. So it is said that he has 3 boxes that he read a letter or proposal. Yes, I do it. No, I don't do it. And the 3rd box says, this is too difficult to understand. So it's a circle of competence. And if you know that, well, you live better. And in the case of this trouble is where you draw a line. So if you got trouble, you better not go there. So Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's friend, and co-investor and the vice chairman of Berkshire Hathaway, he said, don't go where you die. I think that's profound. One thing is to say, know the circle of confidence. The other way to say it is not to go where you die. But if you look around, perhaps not just outside, but yourself, if you are, let's say, too simple-minded or too self-centered, you do want to do something and achieve lots of money, fame, or whatever beyond whatever you can. So that may be a reason that you die. Maybe you don't die. But if you're too self-obsessed, that you're just wasting your energy. So the tree of life analogy is that you find the area where the branches can grow and help you sustain your growth to live well. So it's a balancing act. And not to die, not to go where you die is a great idea. And that's pragmatic because we may be more self-centered to think of all the dreams and all the TV commercial web says that if you do this, this is going to happen. And if you believe all of that, you are unbalanced. So you have to have a good judgment ability. And for that, Charlie Munger says, and I think I put this in my video because it's profound, I can resonate, the idea of invert. Find a way that you fail instead of find a way you succeed. Or you can do both of them. But invert idea is try to see how you can die. Okay, and then avoid it. That's much more tangible, doable, and pragmatic in my view. I wrote books on the waste elimination. It's the same idea. If you want to succeed, eliminate waste. But if you're looking upward and what the wonderful vision and all the hypnotizing advertising and all the idea lures you to get there, that's one. But you're losing your ground. You have to connect to your heart to see who you are, where you came from, and what's your ability. Be realistic about it. So look at yourself, know thyself, and avoid the danger. So tying the whole story of what I said about Ryokan, and this is that, as in the case of the tree of life, the branches grow to where the opportunity is, and you have a feedback mechanism to see if it's too painful, 3-box analogy, yes, no, too difficult. You find a way to allocate your resource and keep going through this feedback. Use the brain, but listen to your heart and live with your mission. So that's the story of the dream and how I summarized why I had the dream and what the wisdom is, what is indicating what I should do. Balance out and know what's going on. Don't be fooled by the mind. Connect to the heart. Know who you are. Find a way that you don't go die. Find a way so that the energy is flowing well. As Warren Buffett says, tap dancing, resonating to the way of nature, the path you take, and make a most of it. So that's the story about my dream, connecting to some of the discussion we had. Have a calm and quiet mind to assess the situation. Don't be lured by the stupid idea. Have an invert idea. Don't go where you die. Know the circle of confidence and review back and forth so that you can grow, be happy, given whatever you have, to make most of it with wisdom and compassion. Have a good day. Thank you.